Good morning and welcome to this edition of Fahrenheit. My name is Timothy Nyangweso. Quite an interesting week we have had. This is 104.1 Power FM, where it's all about love. This edition of Fahrenheit, my name is Timothy Nyangweso. Have you heard about the budget? Do you know what it is looking like? 45.5 trillion shillings. Where is that going to come from? The taxpayer has to be able to pay that money. We're going to look at that, but today they declared 557 cases of COVID. With 82 who have recovered. World over, we had 6.4 million people. 389 have passed on. But we thank God that we have not lost any life in Uganda. But also, as we look at the budget this morning, we want also to be able to look at the stimulus package of 4.7 trillion shillings. What did the president say about it in the State of the Nation's address? I have people here that I'll be asking the hard questions that they'll be answering to us. I have Julius Mukunda. He's the ED of CS Bag, and Julius, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
You look very well and very well treated in this lockdown. I have Crispin Kakuba, an executive director of Sensitize Uganda. He's also a policy analyst. Crispin, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Timothy. It's been
you have traveled the world everywhere and you are back home.
No, we're just trying, just to make a difference in the world that we want our children to live in.
No more travels.
Now you can't say you have traveled.
We are now all home, including the president.
Wonderful, wonderful. You people, you need babas after here. Julius, how have you been and how has the lockdown treated you?
It's been very tough. It's really been very, very, very tough. If you are used to wake up in the morning, you are very active, you move up and down, and all of a sudden you're confined in your house. It becomes really very tough.
Have you had cases of domestic violence?
No.
Okay. Crispin, I know he's single, so...
Oh, come on.
Okay, sorry. Crispin, how has the lockdown treated you? Hey, the state has changed.
Things have changed.
COVID, there was a scientific wedding.
Yes, actually, I wanted to do that, only that my wife refused, that she needed more people like any other African traditional woman.
Hey.
But things are so good, but again, tough in another sense, that of course survival becomes very hard. But we are hoping for the best, given that the situation is being handled, but of course with a few roadblocks here and there. But I think we can work on that and have better life.
Now that we have finished the introductions, we're going to be looking at the budget. The budget is going to be read next week on the 11th of 45.5 trillion shillings. Last year we were at 40.4 trillion shillings. We have gone up by about 5 trillion shillings. When we look at the budget, things are not new. Work still takes the biggest portion, security is there, interest payment is there, education is there, health is there, but these are the experts that are going to explain to us. Julius, what was our performance 2019-2020 budget?
We have not got the right figures, but we know already what has happened.
Okay. Please help our listeners understand.
Because we know that, for example, URA by December had lost $500 billion.
Wow.
Could not collect $500 billion. We know that even by April, end of April, we had almost lost another $1 trillion, a target of another $1 trillion. So we know that on the part of URA collections, where me and you get money from, we are going to be very, 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 very badly. And just to make the context even come back home, for example,
is that the cause to the changes that have just happened in URA?
I don't think so. I don't think so. None of us predicted that COVID-19 could really bring our collections so low to that particular level. But I think for me, the perspective of, for example, we charge 980 shillings on a liter of diesel, on fuel. So if you have not driven, if all cars are home, like how they used to be,
the last 2 weeks,
so it tells you how much money you are going to collect from fuel, because petrol stations are not working. If you have been collecting money from hotels, it tells you how much money you are going to lose. If you have been collecting money from air tickets, the air tickets are the most expensive, by the way. You pay almost 50% of the price of the ticket.
Yes.
In most cases, you even pay more than that. Now, the airport was shut. Our only airport in Entebbe was shut down. So it tells you how much money that the government was able to collect. So on the side of revenue, I can tell you we are doing so badly. So when the revenue falls down, it then affects how much money we are going to spend. We know very well that, for example, that this quarter, the fourth quarter, money for only salaries, pensions, health care, security,
yes,
were the only monies that were released. so that we can mobilize funding for addressing the COVID-19 effect. So if in this fourth quarter we're able to raise only that money, then again it still is in terms of expenditure. 2019-2020 budget performance is extremely going to be very, very low. However, one of the things we know is that in 2020, this last quarter, we collected lots of money. In terms of people giving us money. You've seen how the private companies have come. The last figure I had, we are in 28 billion. But we know that we received close to 4 trillion from IMF and World Bank. But we also know that EU, Denmark, most of these donors have really given us money.
Yes.
In terms of, that's not free money. In terms of, they have given us loans. We have acquired some loans. So this year also in terms of loan acquisitions, we are going to have a spike in terms of amounts of money we have borrowed, which we have likely to pay back. Remember, we have been singing a song saying that we are safe, we are within 50% debt GDP.
Yes.
The last figure we had was we are in 47. So, at the close of this particular financial year, we are going to be above 50%.
And to come to Crispin. Crispin, how has our performance been with the budget of 2019-2020?
I think, of course, like what Joas has said, of course, it has been affected in a number of ways, of course, especially by the pandemic. With, of course, a shortfall like in revenue. Of course, like if all the revenue streams have been affected, then what do you expect? So it means some of the first services, of course, have not been received the way they are supposed to be received. But also, we are likely to see a rise in corruption because many of the people usually take advantage of such situations, such panic situations, to swindle the little money that is there. So even when the services have not been delivered the way they're supposed to be delivered, people will take that advantage to make sure that some of the funds are swindled. So what do Ugandans need to do at this time? So it means we need to be more vigilant than before, so that we can follow each and every penny that was spent. Ask for accountability, but also be vigilant on the next coming financial year of the budget that has been passed of the 45.5 trillion Ghana shillings.
But Julius, coming back to you, I have heard what Crispin has said, and he says corruption and all these things, we need to be paying attention to what is going to happen. I'll ask Crispin how the Ugandans can be able to do this, but the question is, these figures are very nice, they look very good on paper, but I've had Keith Muhakanizi question this passing of this bill and talking about how much has been collected April and May, 650 billion, 950 billion. What is happening? Is this realistic or it is a figment of our imagination?
I didn't get
The 45.5 trillion shillings looks like a good figure. It shows we have grown, but is this reality? Is this what is actually happening?
No. You see, what happened is that late last year, that is November, December, is when the 2020-2021 budget was drafted and brought to Parliament, and we debated it. And by then, nobody thought about COVID. We thought this is a Chinese thing. It is going to stay there. It will never come back to us. But by January, it started appearing that it might come.
Yes.
And Feb, here we go. It is coming across the whole world. So that budget did not have any COVID consideration at all. Even when the Parliament was debating it under tight quarantine, because this budget actually was not debated by the whole Parliament. Committees never sat. It was only the budget committee that sat.